This is Ellen Stewart, the pushy broad from the Bronx, saying, remember, everybody needs a little push.
From the pushy broad from the Bronx, New York.
Welcome, Transformation Talk Network listeners. My name is Ellen Stewart, and I am the pushy broad from the Bronx. Welcome to my show, Recovery Recharged, where I share advice and support from experts in addiction and recovery. This is a straight talk episode, and that means you get questions answered directly from the pushy broad as a certified recovery coach and life coach, having a lot of experience in behavioral health and addiction services, and also, of course, being in long-term recovery myself. There are so many topics that interest you in this arena, and this one in particular is certainly worthy. What happens when you're trying to get healthy, stay healthy, stop drinking, trying to fit in abstinence one day at a time, no more drinking, no more drugs, and you are dating somebody or living with somebody or married to somebody that is not doing any of that and that still decides to party, drink, and drug to the point that it becomes a very chaotic environment for you. So difficult that living in a sober environment becomes harder and harder for you to navigate. So, I'm going to talk to you about some real tools, some boundaries, some decisions you may or may not make, so we can decide where our recovery begins and where codependency ends. So here are the most popular questions that I get from my clients and what I get from my audience. And my producer, Emily's in the studio today. She's going to feed them to me, and we're going to get started. Good morning, Emily. What's the first question?
Good morning. First question is, what's the biggest mistake people make in this situation?
There are a few of them, but the number one mistake is that if you are trying to stay clean and sober and you're in a relationship with somebody that you care about, somebody that you love, you may confuse that love with the responsibility of taking care of them without properly taking care of yourself, putting your needs on the bottom of the list while you have their needs at the top, right? Confusing love with responsibility and sliding right into codependence, right? And we know that word, and it's a true word, and it's an addictive word because codependence is an addiction. Because we believe that our partner's well-being solely depends upon us, and we can't be happy unless our partner is okay. That's a relationship addiction. And that's directly interfering with the addiction and the recovery of you trying to stay clean and sober when you don't put your recovery first. I tell you over and over and over again, you get on an airplane, the flight attendant says, put your oxygen mask on first. You can't help anybody else if you are not taking care of you. So that's our biggest mistake. We put someone else's needs before our own and interpret that as love, which it certainly is not. Emily, next question.
What is actually your job in the relationship?
Well, I hate the word job because I don't think relationship should be a job. If your relationship is a job, guess what? It's not a relationship. But nevertheless, maybe what your role should be in a relationship is first to take care of your recovery. Every single treatment center, every single program, whether it's 12-step recovery or harm reduction or any of the recovery programs that work in treatment for lasting recovery will tell you your recovery is the first and foremost thing you have to worry about. Taking care of your health is the number one thing. Staying clean and sober means the world now has purpose. You have the ability to move forward. If not, nothing else works. So, what's your job in a relationship? To take care of you so you can be responsible and wonderful to somebody else, so that you can protect your safety and their safety, so that you have peace of mind and they have peace of mind. So you're not managing their emotions or their outcomes. And that becomes the way not to find yourself in a core codependent trap. Focus on you, and the rest will automatically take care of itself. Emily, next question.
What's the difference between support, enabling, control, and codependence?
Believe it or not, there are so many fine lines. There really are. And we see it every single day in a partner relationship, in a spousal relationship, even in a parent-child relationship. So here it is, plain and simple. Okay? Support in a relationship means healthy encouragement, not doing something for someone else, not going in there and trying to fix all the stuff that's happening around your lives and everybody else's lives so that nobody gets hurt because you're not a safety net. That's not who you are. Support is healthy encouragement. That's it. Enabling removes all the consequences. The first thing we learn in recovery is that actions have consequences. If you take the consequences away, you're just going to keep doing the same negative behavior over and over again. You're just going to keep being that person who is active in addictive behavior and addictive use. Enabling removes consequences. Control tries to force a change. If it's not working well enough, let's try to make it work better. Or if this isn't working, let me try to force another solution. That never works, ever. And finally, codependence is when your identity and emotional stability revolves around somebody else's behavior. Stop living your life for someone else. You have to live your life for you. Emily, next question.
Give us the Bronx moment on this.
I'm the pushy broad from the Bronx. Okay. So if I want to tell it straight up, just like it is in my cheerleader and my drill sergeant way, I would tell you this. You're not their probation officer, you're not their therapist, and you're not their mother, if this is your partner or your spouse, okay? You're not their probation officer, you're not their therapist, you're not their mother, and if you're exhausted from trying to be those things, then you're codependent. Then you are not worried about you enough. Then you have to come talk to the pushy broad. Then you have to do some relationship building with you, some self partnering, and make sure that you are taking care of yourself enough. I can't stress this enough. Okay? You can't be somebody else's guardian. You have to take care of you first. Okay, now, if you're confused about any of this and you want to do some work around it, I need you to go to pushybroadfromthebronx.com, make an appointment for a free consultation, and then let me help you concentrate on your recovery. Emily, next question.
How can someone tell if they're enabling or being codependent?
Very simple. It's all easy. Sometimes we're in denial about all of this and we don't want to realize that we are codependent. So here it is. If your mood, your decisions, or your sense of self worth rise and fall based on somebody else's behavior, or you're constantly rescuing them from consequences, you're in codependent territory. Okay? both of these things, enabling and codependent. If you're trying to save somebody, put a safety net there, make everything all right for someone, excluding your own consequences, then you're enabling somebody. There it is. I need you to pull back from both of those things and understand that the best love you could give someone, which is the hardest for people to understand, is the beginning of understanding what it means to love yourself. People think that they're not entitled to love themselves. People think it's selfish to focus on themselves. It is not. It is selfless in a way because you're able to concentrate on the things that matter. And that's being open. That's allowing other people to affect their own consequences. And when that happens, love blossoms. It doesn't shrivel up and die. Emily, next question.
What's a simple tool to help people stay in their lane?
Really simple. Again, three things. What's mine is mine. What's theirs is theirs. And for me, what's God's is God's. Meaning, in recovery, we say, let go, let God. That's what we do, which means I'm going to let go and let the universe take its course. So if you're not particularly spiritual, I get it. I have many, many, many strictly science-based clients, and we talk about the movement of the universe or what's going to unfold on its own. We don't have to control it every turn. We are only driving our own car, okay? We're behind the wheel of our own vehicle. We're not driving anybody else's car. And the rest of it, the universe is taking care of. So I need you to realize that the universe can function very well on its own without you trying at every turn to manipulate it. Okay? What's mine is mine, what's theirs is theirs, and what the universe decide is up to the universe. Emily, next question.
Can you give us an example of that tool in action?
Okay, let's say your partner comes home drunk and whatever they do, whatever their behavior is, belongs to them. If they've gotten into a serious situation, if they've landed in jail, if they're in debt, if they have done something that is a result of their drinking and drugging, whatever responsibility they face belongs to them. Their actions, their consequences. Your response, however, is yours, totally yours, which means how you react to them is up to you. Which means if you start to begin to fix it or cover it up or tell them it's going to be okay or any of those things, which means you're going to be directly involved into a situation that overlaps your well-being, then I need you to say, I've got to stay in my lane. How am I doing? How am I feeling? This really doesn't apply to me. I can listen to them vent. I can support them from afar, but I am not going to fix it. And I am not going to jeopardize my recovery in the process. That's the example. Okay? Remember, pushybroadfromthebronx.com. The summer is coming. It's here. Schools are out in a couple of weeks. Colleges are out. The whole world is partying. This is the time to get serious about who you are and what your recovery is all about. Emily, next question.
What does it mean to live in a wet house?
Okay. So if you're trying to stay sober, in an environment where substances are present, that's living in a wet house where everybody else is drinking and drugging and you're trying to navigate a sober life. Of course, that's hard. Not only is it hard to stay clean and sober, which is hard enough, but to do that while everything is coming at you, where all the triggers happen all at once every single day, would wear anybody down. That's trying to be a martyr. You can't be a martyr. All you can do is try to move away from substances and move away from triggers that want you to go back to substances. Everybody that wants to go on a diet doesn't go to the supermarket and come back with cake, candy, and ice cream in the refrigerator. So when they open the refrigerator, all they see is cake, candy, and ice cream. How does one stay on a diet if it's right in front of you all the time? Every single treatment, every single science based research tells us that if we're around something long enough, we will cave in. So we have to separate ourselves, which sometimes is the hardest. But if we can't, maybe we can't. Maybe we can't. There are other ways we can get around it, and we're going to talk a little bit about it as time goes on here. But I know that many of you, because many of my clients are in situations where they're doing their best to stay clean and sober on a daily basis, and their partner is not clean and sober. And they are surrounded by bottles of beer, bottles of wine, marijuana, pills in the medicine cabinet, everything that looks to take them down at every moment. I understand how hard it is. I really do. But I want you to survive through it. And I want you to flourish and go past it. Emily, next question.
How do you protect your sobriety in that environment?
There you go. Here it is. So simple things. Create a safe space. If you can't move your environment or you don't want to, some people know that they can get themselves out of their environment, but that also seems very insurmountable. I understand. You're trying to do one thing at a time. And the first thing is to stay abstinent, stay clean and sober, maybe 1 minute at a time. So, how are you going to move and how are you going to do this and how are you going to create an upheaval in your life? I get it. So, instead, take a safe space. I don't know, a corner of the room, a closet, a safe, empty space that you can make peaceful and calm. The walk in the park at a certain bench under a tree, a walk with the dog. Create a safe place where you are away from all of the things that are triggers. And then you can create that safe space in your mind when you need to, right? It's called mindfulness, understanding wherever my feet are, that's where my brain has to be. How can I go to the safe place in my mind? Limit the exposure that you have to mood altering substances. You may be sharing an apartment with roommates and everybody's getting high. So maybe this is your time to go into your room, close the door, pick up a book, or put your headsets on, listen to some music, and turn on the tube. Any of those things. And if you're codependent around all of this because you choose to stay with a partner that is still using, I need you to move away from their behavior and stop monitoring their every move. You know how it is when you want to stay clean and sober. There's nobody on this planet that can tell you to do it. No matter how many times your partner may have told you, your friends may have told you, your folks may have told you, anybody, you are staying clean and sober for you. So realize that if they want to get clean and sober, they're not going to do it for you. And if they think they're doing it for you, it's not going to be sustainable. So I need you to back it up, understand that you don't want them controlling you. You can't control them or their sobriety. So that's how you protect your environment. Emily, next question.
What's an example of an exit plan?
There are many different things. When you are in a toxic relationship where both people are doing alcohol or drugs on a regular basis, it becomes a series of situations. You may have started wondering whether or not the relationship was working, how long you've been in relationships. I have clients who have been married for 20 or 30 years, even, where one or both people in the relationship are continuously drinking or drugging. It is very hard to break away from these things. But I need you to say to yourself, do I want this chance for myself? Do I want the opportunity to see what life is like, being completely clean and sober? That's the most important thing. I know when I got clean and sober, the thing that was most appealing to me was to remember what it was like when I was a kid, where I didn't spend my life and my brain wasn't functioning on mood altering substances. Even marijuana, which is completely legal today, and you can maybe smoke a little bit every night or whatever it is, but still you are in a fog. There is a distinct difference between living clean and sober and living with any kind of mood altering substance. So when you decide you want to be brave enough to make a change, not only because of that reason, but because you do not want to live in a situation that no longer works for you. Because I'm telling you, when both people are drinking and drugging to the point where you want to get sober, this is a great relationship that resembles toxic situations and negative influences. And if you want to start, an exit plan could be, I want to go to couples counseling to see if this marriage is working from any point of view. Pick up the phone and call Pushy Broad, go to the website, make an appointment with me, and we'll see whether this relationship is worth holding on to or worth letting go. But if things escalate, if there's violence, if there's abuse, if there is a dangerous situation, no matter who you are, you must leave without guilt, without over explaining. You have to walk out the door. I don't care if you do it. He wakes up one day or she wakes up one day and you're not in that bed anymore. I don't care. Get out of it. Codependence will tell you to stay and manage it. Recovery will always tell you to protect yourself and protect your peace. Think about it hard and don't do it alone. Let's get some support. I'm here for you. Emily, next question.
How important is outside support in this situation?
Immensely important. But I do urge you to start with professional help first. And let me tell you why. There are so many people that talk to me about talking to their friends about situations or talking to their family about situations. I'm not saying that that's not important, but understand friends and family will not understand the way a recovery professional will understand, or whether a behavioral health therapist will understand, because family may be on your side for a minute, and then when things change, may be on your partner's side. Friends will vacillate depending upon how they are feeling. Family will also take sides depending upon how they are feeling. A professional doesn't put feelings into it. Their feelings don't matter. My feelings around this have nothing to do with your situation, which is why you need independent professional advice and the ability to be allowed to vent, to get the support you need, because you can't have it bottled up. There's no place to go except self-recrimination. And that's something you don't want to do. So support is critical, especially for breaking codependent patterns, because that's an addiction. You need voices like the pushy broad that reminds you what's yours and what isn't yours, what doesn't belong to you. I cannot stress this enough. Take advantage now because I'm taking new clients. Pushybroad from thebronx.com. Make an appointment for a free consultation. We will go from there. It's the spring. New things are blossoming. Now is the time. Emily, what else have you got?
What's one piece of homework for listeners this week?
Okay. Really simple, really maybe. I want you to set one clear boundary, and notice when you're having difficulty breaking that boundary. For instance, I am not going to tell them to stop drinking so much at night. I'm not going to count the beer bottles in the garbage pail. Okay. I'm not going to go searching for the wine bottles that are underneath the couch. Okay. I know you're out there and I know you're doing it. I need you to send one clear boundary, and that big thing is to focus on you and say to yourself, this does not belong to me. I am clean and sober. I need you to set one clear boundary and see how many times that boundary comes up and how many times you want to break that boundary. And then I need you to get some support because this takes time. I promise you, you can recover from codependency, from enabling, and you can stay clean and sober. Emily, next question.
Why shouldn't people make big relationship decisions in crisis?
Well, okay, so here it is. In recovery, I've always been told one thing, and it's kind of like a commandment. We never make decisions in anger or in haste because invariably they will not work out ever. And it's a cloudy judgment call. I'm reacting from fear, not clarity, or I am reacting from pressure to act, not clarity. And it's very hard for someone who is a recovering addict, even because addicts want what they want when they want it, and they want it right now. Okay. So that means I want to give you a decision right away. I want to say yes right away. I want to make a decision for myself that may not be right immediately because the impulse reaction is very strong in addiction, which means we go to save right away. We go to react right away. And sometimes out of fear or anger and not clarity. So I need you to pause and I need you to say, I'm not sure about that yet. I'll give you a decision in 24 hours. Or I don't know if that's going to work for me. I have to give it some further thought. It's not a no, it's just a not now. That's all. That's the best thing to do. Okay? One more thing. Instead of reacting, I want you to explore three options. Codependence rushes decisions. Recovery allows space and reflection. I know that it's extremely important for you to do the right thing and feel that you're doing the right thing. But every single day you go without a drink or a drug, I promise you your life will get better. The clarity will return. The life that you're supposed to lead is here. And I want you to think about what it would look like in the next 30 days if you decided to do something drastically different with your life. Meaning, what would it look like in the next 30 days if you weren't in the situation you're in? Remember, call the pushy broad from the Bronx. I am here to help you in this. You can sustain a relationship without losing yourself, and you can flourish in recovery. Thank you.
She's the pushy broad from the Bronx, New York. Follow her voice, a straight dog is nice. She's the pushy broad from the Bronx, oh yeah. Don't be surprised if you wanna listen twice. Make decisions, find the right choice. Know yourself better, find your own voice. It's okay if you need help today, cause everybody needs a little push. From the pushy broad from the Bronx, New York.